Obito, Rin, Minato, three people who believed in Kakashi, and all three ended up dead. From the outside, Kakashi's story is straightforward. He graduated from the academy at age 5, made Chunin at 6, became a Jonin before most kids have finished their first year of training. He copied over 1,000 jutsu with a single eye, earning a name that traveled across every village and every battlefield in the shinobi world. Copy Ninja, Kakashi of the Sharingan. That name carried weight. Enemies reconsidered engagements when they heard it. Allies felt safer knowing he was on the mission. The third Hokage trusted him. The fourth Hokage trusted him. Eventually, the entire Hidden Leaf trusted him. By every external measurement available, rank, reputation, skill, impact, Kakashi Hatake was exactly what everyone said he was. He knew none of that, or rather, he knew it and couldn't feel it, because behind every title and every legend was a man who kept a different list, a private list, the one he carried everywhere and never showed anyone, the list of everyone he failed to save. It starts with Obito, his teammate, his rival in the way that only someone who pushes you can be. Obito was everything Kakashi wasn't naturally: loud, emotional, late to everything, leading with his heart before his head had a chance to catch up. They clashed, they challenged each other, and somewhere underneath all of it, Kakashi respected him in a way he probably never said out loud clearly enough. Like the video, let's get into it. On a mission, a battle led to a cave-in, changing everything. Obito is trapped. There is no way to get him out in time. And in his final moments, Obito does something that will follow Kakashi for the rest of his life. He gives him his Sharingan, his eye, the most personal thing a shinobi can offer. And then he is gone. Kakashi walks out of that cave with a piece of Obito embedded in his face, and a question he will spend decades trying not to answer directly. Could I have done something different? Then Rin. If losing Obito was a wound, losing Rin is the infection that sets in after. Rin Nohara was the heart of their team. Gentle, capable, present in the way that made everything around her feel more stable. And she dies not in some distant battle. She dies on Kakashi's hand. Kakashi carries forward is not the complexity, it is the image, the weight of that moment. The fact that he was there and she is gone, and no amount of context makes that easier to live inside. Two teammates, both gone, and Kakashi is the one still walking. That is not something you reason your way out of. That lives in the body. Then Minato, the yellow flash, the fourth Hokage, the man who saw something in Kakashi worth investing in when Kakashi was still just a prodigy, who hadn't learned how to be a person yet. Minato didn't just train Kakashi. He modeled something for him, what it looked like to be powerful and still be kind, what it meant to carry responsibility without losing yourself inside it. And on the night the Nine Tails attacks the Hidden Leaf, the night that reshapes the entire world of Naruto, Minato gives his life to protect the village. Kakashi survives again. The people who shaped him, believed in him, gave him pieces of themselves, they keep leaving, and he keeps being the one left standing. Not because he is the strongest, but because that is simply what keeps happening. And somewhere in that pattern, Kakashi starts to build a story about himself that has nothing to do with his actual ability and everything to do with his grief. I am not someone who saves people. I am someone people die around. And then Sasuke. By the time Kakashi is leading Team 7, he has already been carrying this weight for years. But he shows up anyway. He invests anyway. He sees in Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura something worth protecting, and he pours himself into it. Sasuke leaves anyway. He chases power down a road that leads him directly away from everything Kakashi tried to build in him. Betrays the village. Becomes the kind of threat that puts him on the opposite side of the people Kakashi trained alongside. And Kakashi adds it to the list, because that is what imposter syndrome does. It doesn't let you take credit for the things that go right, but it makes sure you own everything that goes wrong. Sasuke's choices are Sasuke's choices, but in Kakashi's internal accounting, they become evidence. More proof for the case he has been quietly building against himself his entire life. Maybe I was never the teacher they needed. Maybe I was never enough. If you're enjoying the video, subscribe. This is the gap that defines Kakashi Hatake. The world looks at him and sees a legend, a man who has survived everything, mastered everything, and contributed to some of the most important moments in the Hidden Leaf's history. A shinobi whose name alone changes the temperature of a room. Kakashi looks in the mirror and sees a man who couldn't keep his team alive, who trained a student who went dark, who has been standing at gravesites since he was old enough to know what they meant. Both of those things are true at the same time. That is the exact texture of imposter syndrome. It is not a delusion. It is not false modesty. It is a completely sincere inability to let your accomplishments land with the same weight as your failures. The losses are vivid and specific and permanent. The wins feel accidental, temporary, like they could be taken away the moment someone looks closely enough. Kakashi never stops working, never stops showing up, never stops being exactly what people need him to be. He just never quite believes he deserves to be that person. But here's what the record actually shows. Kakashi Hatake protected the hidden leaf through some of its darkest moments. He mentored the boy who would save the entire shinobi world. He fought in wars that would have broken most people before they were old enough to understand what war actually costs. He mastered techniques that were never meant to belong to him and used them with more discipline than the people they were designed for. And when the village needed someone to lead, when the question of who should carry the title of Hokage was on the table, they looked at Kakashi, not despite everything he had been through, because of it. Because the village saw what Kakashi couldn't. That a man who has known loss and kept going is not a man who failed. He is a man who was tested by circumstances no child should have been placed in, by grief that would have destroyed most people, and who chose every single time to keep being useful, keep showing up, keep protecting the thing he believed in even when he wasn't sure he believed in himself. That is not an imposter. That is a Hokage. The voice that says you don't deserve to be here. That voice is not telling you the truth. It is telling you a story built entirely from your worst moments, filtered through your deepest fears, and presented as fact. It will take credit for every failure and give you nothing for every win. It will point at everyone who left and ignore everyone still standing next to you. It will build the most airtight case against you using only the evidence it selects. And it will do all of this quietly, professionally, while you keep showing up and doing the work and being exactly what everyone around you needs. Kakashi never stopped. Through the grief and the guilt and the decades of carrying a list no one else could see, he never stopped. That is the lesson. Not that imposter syndrome goes away, not that the losses stop hurting, but that you do not have to believe every story your pain tells about you. That the gap between who you think you are and who you actually are, that gap is where your real story lives. Show up anyway, lead anyway, build anyway. The village already knows what you're worth. It's time you caught up. And drop in the comments. Which loss on Kakashi's list do you think hurt him the most? Obito, Rin, Minato, or Sasuke? Like and subscribe if this one hit.